Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff, Cutter Historical Diamond, with yet another Degrassi video. And today, on April 2nd, it is the Degrassi What Ifs that the Reddit community helped me with. Now, I'm not going to go in depth about the top 10 or 12 What Ifs I put up for a video and all that. You can watch it on the Degrassi playlist that I will give a link to at the end of the video. But anyway, so there were some what ifs that I put in more in context just individually that the Reddit community were to help me with. And they did. They did their job. So here are the what ifs I wanted to go more into detail with. And some background is necessary on this topic. And my Reddit post was, what if CTV, or for that matter, the Degrassi writers had done something to make PTSD known in the shooting timeline? So the background I put was that in season 3, Ellie had to deal with her mom's issues, like being a drunk and all that, and when her dad goes to the military, and basically Ellie starts to cut herself, and then she's forced into therapy with Miss Sauve, but she doesn't talk to Miss Sauve, but Miss Sauve says that she understands that Ellie might not be talking now. But in the next season, as I said, Emma has her problems with her PTSD, mostly because of the gun pointed in Emma's face from Rick, and the fact that she basically had nobody to help her with the situation because because Manny and Liberty brushed her aside after Emma's pettiness over the Chris situation. And it is assumed that she deals with it off screen, but I said it would have been key for CTV slash the N. Well, of course, CTV is the Canadian rights holders. The N is the U.S. rights holders. To have to see what she at least is in a therapist's office, probably Sylvia's talking about her problems. Because it would have been nice for Emma to admit that she has done terrible and all that, and she needs help. I didn't get much help with this one, but I can assure you that they basically thought that was a great idea, that because PDC was not really mainstream on TV shows in 2004. So that would have helped out a lot with the Degrassi situation at hand. But the problem, I feel, is that they would have capitalized. And I mean, Emma did have to deal with her problems off screen, but there's nothing wrong with putting a scene in which she deals with it on screen, because I mean it will probably get people to admit their problems. I've seen that before. So anyway, another what if I took more time with it was actually a what if that I actually didn't really put down. I think I put that down in my video, but anyway. What if Emma went to the administration after Rick forcing himself on her after the Wacky Brain contest? I said, I feel like she wanted to tell Simpson for two reasons. A, he is after all her stepfather and she can trust him. And B, is that she actually might have avoided Raditch because there was a chance that he was bitter at her for her silent campaign, because Raditch, of course, insulted Emma in Mercy Street, saying that this is not one of your stupid causes, and Emma got him back for it. And also B, he was on Rick's side and probably would have brushed her off as hearsay, because, Raditch was trying to get on Rick's side of the situation without causing a scene. So anyway, yeah, so it's what if Emma went to the administration after Rick forced himself on her after Wacky Brain. Now, of course, I gotta add some context, is that when Rick gets the paint and feathers splattered on him, everyone laughs at him, and then Emma tries to calm Rick down, and Rick decides to kiss her, and then he said, I thought you loved me, and Emma said, no, I was pitying you. I was trying to help you out, get a clue. And that's when he decides to try to get after her. Well, Ghost Taco said that based on what we were given, I think she's trying to brush it off and just continue going about her day. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was planning to talk to Simpson or her mom later on in the day. I don't think she would have gone to Raditch. She probably thought nothing would have got done. That's true. I liked that point. That was a good point. Because I think she was just trying to get on with her day. I mean, that's understandable, but I mean, if Emma went to the administration, like even went to Simpson, she probably would have had something done. But she probably would have had to explain herself, and she would have explained herself quite well. And then someone else said, a lot of people don't come forward when someone attacks them like that for fear of embarrassment / shame. I don't know if Emma would be reporting Rick right away. And then I basically said something to the effect of, well, in 2004, people were ashamed, but nowadays with the Me Too movement and all that, that people are willing to move forward. I mean, yeah, I can understand that she probably would have told someone off screen, but but of course the big what if is, like, if she told Simpson, what would Simpson have done? In my eyes, I think Simpson probably would have had to talk to Rick about it, and once he had her side and his side of the story, Raj probably would have brushed Emma off for some reason, and that would also have led to his dismissal if that had happened. Okay, but this is a big one. I said, what if the deleted scenes in season 4 to do with Rick's storyline were inserted in it? Because as we know that on YouTube there was a season 4 deleted scenes, and there were some that were not happy. So anyway, this is important. I said this is a major one because it's important in the canon. I said Degrassi deleted scenes that you can only see in the DVD extras and YouTube, but in season 4 they dropped the ball on a few key scenes not being aired, which would have made sense in the storyline. One was Sean fighting Toby's Dungeons and Dragons dice that he won from Rick in that kissing contest, and talking to him and Craig about things. Of course, Craig said that, why are you parading this guy like Rick as a hero? He shot Jimmy. And Sean said, our guy got shot. We saw someone get shot, but our guy died. Yours survived. Oh. And two big major ones. A is that Marco and Alex's talk with Raditch in Mercy Street. When they decide to talk to Raditch, well, Alex said she'll talk to Raditch with Marco, because Marco's the president of student council and Alex is the vice president, about letting Rick into Degrassi about what he did to Terry. It would have been important to hear how Raditch said he would handle the situation, like allowing Rick in because no charges were laid. Of course, this scene was in between that was not put in for dumb reason. But anyway, the scene basically had them trying to talk Raditch some sense. But Raditch says he's not been charged, Terry is not at Degrassi, and everyone deserves a second chance for education. Marco believes that. Marco says this is not about grade point average. This is about someone abusing women. And Alex, she has the perfect right to say something about the violence towards women, but Raditch would never have it. And he brushes it off, saying that Marco's not a smart boy. And the other one is the big one about this shooting. After Spinner fights with Jimmy and Spinner accidentally confesses his role in the Paint and Feathers prank, Spinner sees Rick at the school in his outfit that he never changed, tells him a chicken boy. Raditch says, Mr. Mason, meet me at 3:30 for an important talk. Then turns to Rick and apologizes for not believing in him, and basically tells Rick he can go home for the rest of the day. And Rick says, well, I'm going to my locker. And Raditch says, okay, but don't dally too long, okay? And then Snake is there and basically tells Raditch what's he going to do to rectify the situation. Raditch says, I have plans. But Snake says, this is serious. But Raditch says that this is not preschool and making friends is not part of the curriculum. And basically, that was a big tiff between Snake and Raditch. The other tiff, the tiff we did see, was when Raditch wanted signs of Rick being bullied and all that, and Snake basically snaps on him for not seeing any signs at all. And basically blaming Raditch, saying that, this could have happened if you paid more attention and all that. Yeah, this scene would be nice. I mean, not to take away from the subplot about Joey's house and Caitlin and Sydney fighting over it. But as Not a Vampire said, and I think I said this in a previous video months ago, that mundane things happen during weird events, which is true. So basically, yeah, that would have been amazing. And also a big what if is basically, I think did I solve this one? Oh no, I didn't deal with this one. There was two of them. There's two other what ifs, but I didn't deal with the what if Raditch actually backed up his words and looked at Rick. What if he alerted the administration if they see Rick to basically try to get him out of the school? I think Snake would have snapped on that. But anyway, I have a couple more what ifs. This is going to be a shorter video than normal. So, but anyway, this may be hard to stomach, but bear with me, as I said in one of them. As we all know, Rick had his painted feather-stained clothes on when he came back to Degrassi with the gun and proceeded to shoot Jimmy, and almost got Emma before Sean wrestled the gun and shot him accidentally. The main question is this: what if Rick had the sense to wear other clothes when he went back to Degrassi? What changes to the storyline could have happened? And I said, my example is that Rick would have blended in and probably shot more people than Jimmy, and probably would have got Emma. And my good friend Vegan Sista says, well, if you don't know about Vegan Sista, go to the previous video, the April Fool's Day video, well, the one yesterday, and I explained about her post and how I snapped onto that. So anyway, in the commentary they talk about why he didn't change his clothes and clean up. And I forgot about the commentary. Essentially, he basically snapped, and it didn't matter anymore what he looks like because he knew that he wasn't coming out of the building alive. But of course, when he took the gun to the school, he might have killed himself, like Flo Tanner. But anyway, this is why there is a scene with him in the bathroom cleaning up after talking to Paige. The scene signifies that he changed his mind and thought that the shooting was silly. However, once he overhears Jay and Spinner talking, he decides to go back on with the plan to kill somebody. And of course, Jay and Spinner, we'll get onto that later. And then I said, so no matter what he had on, he was going to destroy the school and really snapped, which meant it was a done deal no matter what. And then someone said, Vegan System makes a good point. Even with the painted feathers, I think he still had opportunity. He still had opportunities to shoot more people, but he was focused on revenge. If he kept firing after shooting Jimmy, he definitely would have hit more students because the hallway was full, but he didn't fire on anyone else. I think this was intentional on the writer's part. Jimmy and Rick are the only ones who actually got shot, and that was plenty. And they talked about the Columbine thing, and I think they didn't want to be like Columbine because Columbine, like, my numbers are shoddy, but I say about 11 to 20 students were shot by those two students April 20th, 1999, which, oh my God, we're headed for 20 years since Columbine. But I'm not releasing any videos on 420 for Columbine on shooting things. That would be stupid. And I want to get it over with. Ha! So anyway, yeah, that's true. He basically made up his mind no matter what he was wearing. And then I said, the last one is, what if Rick never believed Spinner and Jay's bullshit and actually had an idea that they were behind it and not using Jimmy to take the heat off themselves? Would Spinner and Jay have been victims, or would there have been much more than that? Before I tell you my piece, I'll let the Reddit guys. Someone said, I think we're supposed to understand that because of Paige's apology, that Rick was second guessing going through with the shooting. And then Jay and Spinner said what they said, and in Rick's mind, he has someone to blame. And because that someone was his new friend, he decides to go through with it at all. And then someone else goes, the quiet moment before Spinner and Jay enter is very effective. When Rick looked at himself in the mirror in the bathroom, it seemed like he moved back into the precipice only for Jay and Spinner's conversation to propel him off of it. What I think this person meant was that he was basically thinking that, okay, I don't need to shoot anyone. But Spinner, and I said, I also meant to say that, remember, Jay and Spinner, before the tie break in part 1, had his guard down a bit. That's what I mean by Rick believing their bullshit and not realizing that Jay, Spinner, and Ops were going to wreck him. A little bit of context on this is that Jay and Spinner went to the bathroom with Rick and said, Rick, you saved the school with your smarts. How did you do it? And Rick says, well, I read a lot. I have a lot of time to myself. So anyway, Jay and Spinner agree that, everything was cool and he should do the tie break and help the school win once and for all. And then, of course, out of earshot, they say the plan goes on as possible. But Spinner does question Jay, but Jay says, that's what you get for dating the student council vice president. No one asks questions. So anyway, Jay and Spinner get their revenge of such. And all that. And of course, when he ducks out of the way for Jay and Spinner, Jay and Spinner enter the bathroom, and Spinner's like, oh my God, I don't know what I did. Ratch is going to know, implying that Jimmy might be telling on them. And Jay says, about Jimmy? And Spinner's like, what are you talking about? And then Jay points at the paint and feathers. Oh yeah, Jimmy. He said he was a good inside man. Set the whole thing up. It would never have worked. Now, of course, I think that the question wasn't really answered. What if Rick didn't believe him? But I think Rick probably would have found the gun in their locker, found Spinner and or Jimmy, and basically blast them to hide, saying that you lied to me. You said everything was cool. Boom. Ah. Now, I know some people would probably say that, good, Jay was a terrible character. I mean, honestly, and this is my opinion only, IMO, that Jay was not really a worthy character. In season 3, he basically tore Sean away from Emma, put him in his gang, and he practically had the issues with the paint and feathers and bullying Rick and all that, that effectively sent Rick to death, Jimmy being shot, Sean leaving for Wasaga Beach, Emma being forced to be with Jay for a piece of Sean and everything. Jay, well, I'll talk more about Jay and his feelings towards how he thought about the shooting and all that in a different video, but that's neither here or there. So anyway, thank you for watching this episode of the shooting thing. There will be 5 more episodes this week, so stay tuned. And I can tell you that I can give you a little bit of a hint and say that there will be a case study on Emma. There will be a season 4 retrospective, because I got to talk about season 4, the season that turned everything around, and also some other stuff. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll have to look at my notes, but I don't want to look at my notes. I want to do this on the fly. So anyway, I'll leave the link and description of my Degrassi playlist video in case you want to see more. Anyway, bye-bye for now.